What if I told you that one simple spoonful taken before bed could quietly set in motion the very process your body has been waiting for, nourishing your blood flow, feeding your manhood, and reawakening a vitality you thought had slipped away for good? I'm not talking about a magic pill, a risky procedure, or some miracle supplement from a late night ad. I'm talking about something natural, gentle, and surprisingly powerful. The kind of thing you might already have in your kitchen, hiding in plain sight. Now, if you're over 55 and you've noticed your erections aren't as strong as they once were, or you wake up in the morning without that firmness you used to take for granted, I need you to hear me. Because what's happening to you isn't just age creeping in. It's not you losing your manhood. It's a warning light, your body's way of saying, I need better circulation. I need nourishment. I need you to pay attention. I've spent more than 35 years sitting across from men in exactly your position. Good men, proud men, men who built careers and families and weathered life storms. And yet, in the quiet of my office, they lean forward and say the same thing in a low voice. Doc, I just don't feel like myself anymore. And here's the part most doctors never tell you. That spark, that strength, it's not gone. Your body hasn't forgotten. The system is still there. It's simply slowed, stiffened, and fallen quiet. All it needs is the right signal, the right fuel, and the right environment to wake it up again. And tonight, I'm going to share one of the simplest, most effective ways I know to give your body exactly that. But I'm not going to dump it all on you at once. Because like any good story, the truth needs to unfold layer by layer. You'll understand not just what to do, but why it works, and why the changes you feel may start sooner than you expect. We'll start with the basics. How blood moves in a healthy man's body, why it slows with age, and how one spoonful of natural blend before bed can help reverse that slowdown. Then we'll go deeper into the chemistry, the nerve response, and even the emotional changes that happen when blood flow is restored. I can tell you this much now. I've seen this simple nighttime habit help men in their 60s and 70s wake up with stronger morning erections, warmer circulation in the lower body, more energy during the day, and a newfound confidence in the bedroom. Not because it's a trick, but because it works with the body's own repair systems at the very time they're most active, while you sleep. So, if you care about keeping your body strong, your blood vessels open, and your intimacy alive, if you want to feel that quiet sense of power again when you wake up, then stay with me. It only gets more interesting from here. Go ahead and subscribe, and click the bell so you don't miss the next part of this conversation. And before we go any further, write in the comments which city you're watching from. I read every single one. I want to know where my words are reaching and whose lives we can change together. Because in a moment, I'll reveal the first key to understanding why so many men lose their firmness, and why one spoonful before bed might be the most important thing you do for your manhood this year. You and I both know a man's body changes with time, but the way it changes is rarely explained properly. Most guys are told, well, that's just aging, as if that explains the way your erections fade, your stamina dips, and your drive goes quiet. But if that were the whole truth, nothing could be done. And yet, I've seen too many men turn things around, sometimes in just weeks, to believe that lie. Think about your blood vessels like the pipes in an old house. When you were young, those pipes were wide open. Water, or in your case, blood, rushed through with force, filling every faucet and every room without hesitation. But decades of use where, and a little neglect cause buildup inside. Mineral deposits narrow the pipes. A little rust here, a little corrosion there. Now, the pressure isn't what it used to be. You turn on the faucet and the flow is weak. In your body, that buildup is plaque, microscarring, and low-grade inflammation. It starts in the smallest vessels. And the smallest vessels in a man's body are the ones that lead to the penis. They're hair thin, and any narrowing cuts off performance fast. That's why the first sign of trouble isn't your heart or your legs, it's down below. But there's another layer to this problem. As blood flow slows, oxygen delivery drops. Without oxygen, the tissues in your manhood lose their responsiveness. The smooth muscle that's supposed to trap blood in the penis becomes a little less elastic. The nerves, which once fired off like lightning, get sluggish. It's like a sports car that's been sitting in a garage too long. The engine still works, but the fuel lines are gummed up and the battery's low. Now here's the kicker. Your body is constantly trying to fix this. Every night, while you sleep, your blood vessels are supposed to open up in cycles. That's one reason men get nocturnal and morning erections. It's not just arousal, it's maintenance. It's your body's way of keeping the pipes clean. But if your circulation has slowed and inflammation has set in, those nightly repairs barely happen. Over time, the system winds down. And it's not just the vessels. Your prostate can join the problem, too. As it swells, even slightly, it presses on a delicate network of blood vessels and nerves that feed your penis. That's like parking a truck on top of a garden hose. Even if the pump is working, nothing's getting through. Add in the fact that many older men sit more, move less, and carry more belly weight, and you've got a perfect storm for pelvic congestion. Blood pooling where it shouldn't, toxins lingering, and oxygen delivery slowing to crawl. Now, I don't tell you this to discourage you. I tell you because this is the part most men never hear. And once you understand it, the fix starts to make sense. If the problem is narrowed vessels, sluggish blood, and trapped inflammation, then the answer isn't to force an erection with a pill. That's like pumping water through a clogged pipe. It works for a moment, but it doesn't fix the plumbing. What you can do, and what we'll get into shortly, is create an environment inside your body where those vessels can open, the inflammation can settle, and the oxygen can flow again. And here's where that one spoonful before bed comes in. Because when you give your body the right natural compounds at night, the very time it's designed to repair itself, you're not fighting against your biology, you're working with it. You're letting your repair crews back on the job. You're opening the garage, rolling out the sports car, and letting the engine run. And here's the best part. The first changes aren't always where you expect them. Many men I've worked with notice they're sleeping more deeply, waking up less to urinate, or feeling a gentle warmth in their lower body within the first week. That's the signal. That's your body saying, I'm moving again. Keep going. In a moment, I'm going to walk you through the first natural ingredient in this bedtime method. The one that starts this whole process by loosening those pipes and letting blood move more freely. But before we do, I want you to picture this. You're lying in bed, the lights are out, and while you're resting, your blood is moving into places it hasn't reached fully in years, feeding tissues that have been starving, reawakening nerves that have been asleep. That's the snowball starting to roll. And once it picks up speed, well, you'll see. Next, let me introduce you to the ingredient that lights the fuse. Let's move into the part you've been waiting for, where the theory turns into something you can actually do tonight. I remember a man named Harold. He was 69, recently retired, and on the surface, he looked like the picture of health. His heart was in decent shape, his blood pressure was controlled, and his lab work didn't show anything alarming. But when he sat down in my office, he let out a slow sigh and said, "Doc, I feel like my body's just dimmed. My energy's down, my drive's gone quiet, and when I try to get intimate, nothing responds the way it used to." Now, Harold wasn't looking for a pill. I've already been down that road. Little Blue One's herbal blend from the internet, and all he got was a pounding heartbeat and a headache. He wanted something natural, something that worked with his body instead of forcing it. That's when I told him about the first ingredient in this bedtime spoonful. It's been hiding in kitchens for centuries, but most people never realize it can be a quiet powerhouse for circulation and vascular health. Baking soda. Yes, I know. You've probably used it to clean a sink or keep the fridge fresh. But inside the body, used correctly, it's more than just a cleaning agent. It's a restorer. You see, as we age, our blood tends to become slightly more acidic. It's a subtle shift, but it tightens the blood vessels, making it harder for them to open wide when you need them to. Think of it like trying to water your garden with a pinched hose. No matter how hard you turn the tap, not much gets through. Baking soda is a natural alkalizer. A small amount in water can help your body's pH slide back toward a more balanced level, which relaxes the vessel walls. When those vessels relax, blood can move more freely, bringing oxygen and nutrients to tissues that have been running on fumes. And here's where it gets interesting. Better pH balance also helps protect nitric oxide, the chemical signal your body uses to flip the switch for an erection. In an acidic environment, nitric oxide breaks down faster. In a balanced environment, it lasts longer, giving you a stronger, more sustained response. For Harold, I started him with a simple protocol. Half a teaspoon of baking soda stirred into warm water with a squeeze of fresh lemon juice, taken about 30 minutes before bed. The lemon doesn't just add flavor. Its vitamin C helps support nitric oxide production and give the liver a gentle nudge to clear out toxins overnight. The first week, Harold noticed something subtle. He woke up only once to urinate instead of his usual 3 or 4 times. The second week, he told me he felt warmer in his lower body at night. Like the blood's actually getting there again, he said. By the end of the month, he walked in with a grin and said, "Doc, let's just say my wife told me to keep doing whatever I'm doing." Now, before you go thinking baking soda is a miracle cure, let me be clear, it's not the whole story. On its own, it's a tool. But when you combine it with the second ingredient in this nightly ritual, that's when things get truly interesting. Because the next one doesn't just open the pipes, it helps feed and repair the tissues those pipes supply. I'll tell you about that in a moment. But first, I want you to imagine this. Every night, while you sleep, your blood vessels are quietly expanding, your pelvic tissues are being flushed with fresh, oxygen-rich blood, and your nerves are getting the nourishment they've been waiting for. You're not forcing anything. You're simply giving your body what it needs to do its own repair work and waking up to the results. And Harold? He's still on that bedtime routine months later. Not because he has to, but because he likes the man it's making him feel like again. Next, I'll share the second natural component of this spoonful, the one that takes that improved circulation and turns it into lasting strength, sensation, and confidence. That's when the snowball really starts to pick up speed. The second piece of this bedtime ritual is what turns better circulation into something you can actually feel, not just in the moment, but in your day-to-day confidence. I learned this years ago from an older patient named Walter, 74, who came to see me after 2 long years of frustration. He'd tried supplements, lifestyle changes, even considered injections, but nothing gave him back that steady, dependable response he remembered from his younger days. He told me, "Doc, I don't just want to get an erection. I want to feel alive down there again." That's when I introduced him to the second ingredient, castor oil. Now, I know, when most men hear castor oil, they think of an old-fashioned remedy their grandmother kept in a dark bottle. But this thick, golden oil has a unique property that makes it invaluable for men over 55. It penetrates deep into tissue, carrying anti-inflammatory and circulation-boosting compounds right where they're needed most. The key compound in castor oil is ricinoleic acid. When applied to the lower abdomen, inner thighs, or groin area, it encourages fresh blood to flow into tissues that have been starved for years. But it does more than just improve circulation. It also helps break down microscopic scar tissue and plaque that can quietly build up inside the penis and surrounding structures. See, over decades of use, small injuries, or even mild inflammation from infections, the soft tissues of the penis can develop tiny patches of hardened collagen. They're invisible to the eye, but they can cause a subtle loss of flexibility, reduced blood capacity, and in some cases, bending or a feeling of tightness. These internal knots can block the very flow you're trying to improve. Castor oil works slowly but powerfully to soften these hardened spots. It also encourages lymphatic drainage, helping clear away toxins, reduce pelvic swelling, and give nerves in that area a chance to breathe again. And when those nerves start firing properly, sensitivity returns. For many men, that's the most emotional part of this process. When I started Walter on castor oil, I told him to warm a teaspoon between his palms, then massage it gently into the lower belly and upper groin for 2 to 3 minutes before bed. He'd then place a warm, soft cloth over the area for another 10 to 15 minutes. This gentle heat helps the oil penetrate deeper, reaching tissues you simply can't affect from the surface alone. In just 2 weeks, Walter came back to my office with his voice catching a little. "Doc, it's like something switched back on," he said. It wasn't just the erections, though those had returned more often. It was the sense of connection to his own body again. The warmth, the subtle pulsing, the feeling that his manhood was no longer dormant. By combining this deep penetrating oil with a vessel relaxing, pH balancing effect of baking soda, we'd created the perfect 1-2 punch. Baking soda opened the pipes so blood could move freely. Castor oil cleared the path inside the tissues and kept that blood flowing where it mattered most. And here's where the real magic happens. When you take that spoonful before bed, your body has the entire night in its natural repair mode to use those ingredients exactly where they're needed. It's quiet, it's gentle, and it works while you rest. Walter's not the only one. I've seen men who are waking 3 or 4 times a night to urinate start sleeping through till morning. Others reported their first morning erections in years. And some simply said they felt present in their lower body again, a feeling they didn't even realize they'd been missing. But as powerful as this is, there's a right way and a wrong way to apply it, and a few common mistakes that can slow down your progress. In the next part, I'll walk you through exactly how to use this method, share a couple of success stories, and make sure you get the most from every single spoonful. That's where we'll bring it all together. Here's how you bring all of this together into something you can actually do tonight, safely, effectively, and without second-guessing yourself. Start with a clean, quiet space before bed. Half a teaspoon of baking soda, dissolve in warm water with a squeeze of fresh lemon juice. Drink it slowly, about 30 minutes before sleep. This gives your body time to absorb it, gently balancing your pH and helping your blood vessels relax. Once that's done, warm a teaspoon of castor oil in your palms. Massage it into your lower abdomen, inner thighs, and just above the pubic area for 2 to 3 minutes. Don't rush. This isn't about brute force. It's about waking up the area and encouraging blood to move in. Then place a warm, soft cloth over the same area for 10 to 15 minutes to help the oil sink deeper. You don't have to wipe it all off. Let it work while you sleep. One of my patients, Joseph, 68, followed this exactly. Within 10 days, he noticed morning erections returning. Not every day at first, but enough to remind him what his body could still do. By the 1-month mark, he told me his wife had made a joke about setting the clock back 20 years. Another patient, Raymond, had been getting up 4 or 5 times a night to urinate. 2 weeks into the routine, he was sleeping through till dawn, waking up rested and with more energy during the day. The science is simple. The baking soda opens the vessels, protects nitric oxide, and improves blood fluidity. The castor oil penetrates deeply, breaking down old scar tissue, encouraging lymphatic drainage, and reawakening nerve pathways. Together, they give your body the green light to repair and restore overnight. But there are mistakes to avoid. Don't overdo the baking soda. More is not better, and too much can upset your stomach or raise sodium levels. Stick to the half teaspoon. And with castor oil, keep it external. Never take it internally for this purpose, and always choose pure cold-pressed oil. If you're consistent, patient, and gentle, you'll likely notice not just physical changes, but something more subtle, a return of confidence. That quiet knowledge, when you wake in the morning, that your body is still capable, still responsive, still yours. If you want more natural, proven methods like this to improve your circulation, energy, and intimacy, like this video, subscribe to the channel and comment one below so I know you're interested. We've only scratched the surface of what's possible, and I'd like nothing more than to help you take the next step.